Damn!
Hey, what's going on? This is DropHazard. Welcome to the video. And today I'm going to be showing you how to get the Void exotic sword, the Dark Drinker. Step number 1, get yourself the Void Edge. If you do not know how to get the Void Edge, go ahead and look up a video here on YouTube. Now, I don't have a guide for getting the legendary swords, but you can find one very easily here on YouTube. So go get yourself the Void Edge and come back here. If you can't figure out how to get the Void Edge, then well, that's not really my problem now, is it?
Smoke weed every day.
Now once you have yourself the Void Edge, get the light level on that up to 280. Once you're at 280, go to the tower and speak to the Crucible Handler, Lord Shax. From him you will get a quest called the Sword Reforged. And now you're going to have to kill 50 Majors and 25 Guardians in the Crucible. For your 50 Majors, I recommend going to the Dark Beyond mission on the moon. Wake the Hive 10 times because you get 5 Hive Majors. Well, let me rephrase that. Wake the Hive 5 times on the hard mode or light level 240 because you're going to get 5 Hive Majors per run on that. So go through, kill everything, and kill all of the yellow barred enemies with your sword. Go in and kill the wizard with your sword if you can manage it. And then once you kill the wizard, pull up your ghost, exit as soon as you can because you only have a set limit of time for it to go to, in order for the checkpoint to be saved, because if you wait too long then you'll have to restart everything. So as soon as you kill the wizard, head to orbit as soon as possible. And then just redo that a bunch of times until you have your 50 kills. In the Crucible, it can be tough because you gotta like time how you use it. Your sword kills, if you have the heavy ammo, it'll be a one-shot kill. If you do not have ammo, you can still use the sword and the kills will still count, only it's going to take 2 shots. So what I did was I shot them with my primary, got them weak. Once their shield is down, then it'll only take 1 hit to kill them. So that's what I did. I would either like throw a grenade or use my primary, get their shield down, and then go in for the sword kill. After you have killed your 50 Majors and your 25 Guardians in the Crucible, head back to Lord Shax. Which then you will get the step called Blade of Night, when you have to kill Echar, I have no idea how to pronounce his name, the Sword of Oryx. And with this, you're going to have to head to Patrol on Dreadnought. Once you're in Patrol, head to the Mausoleum, and then in the back left corner of the Mausoleum, there's going to be like a little hallway that you can go down. Head down there into the Fonts. Once you're at the area that is shown here on the video, then you're in the right spot. You want to go here, and up here there's going to be 3 knights that you're going to have to kill. But you can't just kill them, they open up the door to the next area. And in order to get the door open, you have to kill these 3 knights with 1 super. And with that, I recommend being on your golden gun if you're on your hunter. If you're on your warlock, do the Stormcaller. And if you're on your titan, use the Hammer of Soul. Because those are ranged. And these guys tend to not stick together. So you're going to want something that you can kill multiple with 1 super. You know what I mean. So pretty much just get their health down to a good amount. And then kill them all with 1 super and then the door will open. Which will lead you into the next area where the guy that you have to kill is at. Echar, E-C-H-A-R. Once again, I have no idea how to freaking pronounce his name. Now, once you're in this big-ass room, you're going to want to kill all of the ads, because you're going to have to kill the guy with his sword and try to kill a guy with a sword while there's a bunch of other ads trying to kill you, it can be kind of complicated. So just go ahead, kill all of the ads, and then once you're at the guy that you have to kill, his name is Echar I don't know, but you have to kill him. And in order to get his shield down, you cannot use your primary or your secondary. You have to get his shield down with your sword. You also have to kill him with your sword, but his health you can take down with your primary or secondary. So here's the steps for killing him. Number 1, take down his shield with your sword. Number 2, weaken him with your primary or secondary. I would recommend a shotgun. Get his health down to a reasonable amount, then pull out your sword and kill him with the sword. Make sure that you do not kill him with your primary or secondary. I'm pretty sure that you actually have to kill him with your sword. I'm like 99% sure on that. And as you can tell, I'm actually using my solar sword on this, because once I got it done for one sword, this step was completed for all 3. And I didn't actually have the steps yet, but I did have all 3 swords in my inventory. And then, like, once I went to turn in this to Lord Jax, it just gave me all 3 steps. Actually, it gave me the one for my solar, and then my arc, and then once I had my void sword up to 280, it just automatically gave me the next step. So that's a little side note to know. I don't know if you actually have to have all 3 in your inventory, but I did, and then I didn't have to go through the last 2 steps for my other 2 swords. So good thing to know. If you want to get all 3 exotic swords, do that. So once you return to Shaxx after doing that, you will receive the exotic quest, and here is where the real grind starts. And by grind, I mean it's going to take you 3 to 10 hours straight, depending on how many assets that you have. Now for this step, you're going to need to get 10 rare materials from the relic irons that are on Mars. And just note, you do not get these materials from the chest. You have to go and find the relic iron, what's the word? Settlements. You gotta find the relic iron settlements. And I highly recommend using the ghost, which will point out where the relic iron settlements are. If you do not have the ghost, try to find somebody on your friends list that does. This helps a lot, and it'll save you about 1/3 of the time. And it's probably going to take you anywhere from 90 minutes to 2 hours with the ghost. So double that time, triple that time, and you're going to look at like 4 to 6 hours. So get yourself the ghost. Trust me. Now the rare materials that you're looking for actually have a 5 to 10% drop rate. So you're looking at anywhere from 100 to 200 relic iron sediments that you have to go through. And a huge tip here, the sediments are going to spawn in one area at a time. They will all spawn in one area, and then once you're done coming through that area, move on to another area. If you cannot find any in that area, move on to the next area, until you find an area that has at least 1 relic iron in it. And then maybe wait like a minute or so, and then the rest will pop up in that area. Just gotta comb through the area. And then once you get all of the relic iron in that area, you'll probably get anywhere from about 4 to 5, maybe 6 or 7 if you're lucky. It all depends on the area that you're in. Pretty much once you're done with that area, just move on to the next area, and until you find an area that has relic iron, then repeat the process over and over and over again. And like I said, you're probably going to have to go through at least 100 plus of these relic iron sediments. It's very time consuming, and the ghost that points out their location helps a lot. And on top of all that bullshit, you're also going to have to get 5 void ability kills. And I do not mean void weapon kills. Your void burn weapon kills will not count for this. By ability kills, it means your charged melee, your grenades, and your supers. Means you get 500 kills with your super, your charged melee, and your grenades. Your void weapon kills will not count for this. So once you get a note, you're going to need 500 of these kills. So it's going to take a good hour or 2 just to do this. So once again, side note, when you're looking for your relic, if you notice that your super is charged, or your melee or your grenade is charged, go ahead and use that to kill some people, because that'll help with your kills. You know what I mean? And then once you have all of that bullshit of a step done, return to Lord Jax, and now you're going to have to wait for Arms Day. Isn't that just a huge slap in the face? And for those that do not know, Arms Day comes around from Banshee 44, the gunsmith. Every Wednesday is what Arms Day is. And that starts at 5 a.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. Pacific, and I do believe it's 10 a.m. in the UK. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 10 a.m. in the UK. And then once Arms Day rolls around, go back to the tower, speak to Lord Shaxx, and he will give you the very last step that you need to do in order to get your Dark Drinker. And this is going to give you a quest mission / strike. It's going to be the Sunless Cell. It'll pop up right next to the original one. And the only way for you to load into this version of the strike is to have either this quest or one of the quests for the other 2 exotic swords. And you're going to want a team of 3 if you have 2 other friends that are a high enough level, because these are going to be 300 light level allies. These guys are going to be able to take more damage than all of the enemies that are in the raid. It's 300 light level, so you're going to want to be at least light level 290 plus. Now, if you cannot find 2 friends that are going to help you out with this, go into matchmaking. And what you're going to want to do is you want to make sure that you're all on the same page, all going for the same person at the end. And I'll explain that in a little bit. But just get a hold of the other people that you're playing with through a message. See what sword that they're going for. Ask them if they have a mic. Get them into a party chat, even if they don't have a mic. Just so that way you have some form of communication with your teammates that you're doing this with. Because like I said, it's a bitch to do if you're not on the same page. So once you have everybody on the same page, going through this, you're going to want, you gotta remember, these are 300 light level enemies. So you're going to want to take your time, pick your shots, make sure that you kill everything. Because if you don't, and if you lose focus on one enemy, they can kill you rather quickly. So keep on a high awareness, and like I said, just sit back, pick your shots, take your time going through it. It'll take you about an hour overall to get this done. Per sword. Now once you're at the part where the Dark Blade is, it's going to spawn in 3 extra enemies on top of all of the ads that you get. You'll get the Dark Blade, which is spawning right away. Once again, just make sure that you're all on the same page for which warden that you want to kill, which sword that you're working on. And assuming that you're all going for the Dark Drinker, the Void Sword, this is what you're going to want to do here. So, in the first wave of ads, the Arc Warden will spawn in. And you're going to want to kill him off as soon as possible. He will have a sword which he will attack with, so he'll be rather easy to kill.
He's dead. It took 3 hits.
And in between all of this, you want to make sure that everybody is also DPSing the Dark Blade, because he has a lot of health, and make sure that you're DPSing him throughout all of this. Oh, and I should also note that you're going to want 2 people that are going to focus on DPSing the Dark Blade, and then you're going to want your 3rd person to run distraction for whichever warden that you want to kill towards the end, which in this case of the Dark Drinker, that's going to be the Void Warden. And you can tell which warden is which by the color of their shield. If it was blue, that's the Arc Warden. If it's purple, that is the Void Warden. If it's red, that is the Solar Warden. Now, I would list off their names, but it doesn't really matter. It is much easier to tell which warden is which just by the color of their shield. So once again, the Arc Warden was spawning with the first wave of ads. And once again, make sure that everybody is DPSing the Dark Blade during all of this. And then in the second wave of ads, the Void Warden will spawn in. Make sure that you keep this guy alive. This is the guy that you're going to want to kill at the end. And then as soon as you kill him, you're going to want to turn around and kill the Dark Blade within 30 seconds. That is the whole catch to all of this, is that you have to kill the specific warden that you're going for, and then kill the Dark Blade within 30 seconds. Make sure that you do it in that order, because if you kill the Dark Blade, everything ends. Everything else will die. So you want to kill the warden and then the Dark Blade within 30 seconds of each other. So as I was saying, in the second wave of ads, the Void Warden will spawn in. Make sure that the 3rd person that is running distraction, I recommend the new Void subclass for the Hunters, because if you're at a high enough level in your subclass, you can get the Smoke Bombs, which will allow you to go invisible. And when that person that is running distraction is at a point where he's about to die, just have that person go invisible, get his health back, and then shoot back at the Void Warden to get his aggro back on that person. Now, it's also important to note that the Void Warden does have a gun. He has a ranged attack. So it's going to be very hard for that person that is running the distraction. So make sure that he has his own certain spot, and then the other two are DPSing the Dark Blade kind of like on the other side of the map. And then in the third wave of ads, the Solar Warden will spawn in. And once again, since you are going for the Dark Drinker, you're going to want to kill off the Solar Warden as soon as possible. Now, why do you want to kill off the Arc Warden and the Solar Warden? Because it is very, very hard to keep all three Wardens alive until the end. It's much easier to just kill one Warden towards the end at a time. And just kill off the other two beforehand. Makes things a lot easier. If you try to do all three at the same time, you're going to have it really complicated. And more than likely, you're going to die. Because we've tried it many times, and it was just a bitch to do. And like, well, let's just focus on one Warden at a time. And it became a lot easier. And the only catch is that I was going for all three exotic swords, so it took an hour each time. So overall, it took 3 hours. It probably would have took closer to 1.5 hours if we were to kill all three at the same time. The only problem was that we were dying too often in order for that to happen. So once again, as soon as the Solar Warden spawns in, kill him off. And then just make sure that you got your third man running distraction and keeping the Void Warden's attention. Make sure that you're killing off all of the ads whenever they spawn in. And then once you get the Dark Blade down to about this amount of health, that is the time where you're going to want to kill the Void Warden and then kill the Dark Blade. Now, I would say that as soon as you are done killing the Solar Warden and then done killing all of the ads that come with him, that is a point where you're going to want to turn your attention to the Void Warden and get him down to about a quarter of health. Make sure that you're very, make sure that once he's down to about half, that only one person is shooting at him now to get him down to a quarter. You don't want all three people shooting at him at the same time, because you do not want to kill him before it's time to kill him within 30 seconds of the Dark Blade. And this is all going to tie into timing at the end of it. You'll understand what I mean here very shortly. So once you have your Void Warden down to a quarter of his health, and then you have the Dark Blade down to approximately this amount shown here of health left, this is when you're going to want to wait until the Dark Blade will teleport and kind of like run and hide. And as soon as he teleports, that is when you're going to want to kill off the Void Warden. So after you kill the Void Warden, you're going to have exactly 30 seconds to kill the Dark Blade, and you should have about 28 to 25 seconds left after he comes back from the teleportation to kill him. This all ties in with timing, and this is why having everybody talking to each other is so important for this. I cannot stress enough how much you want everybody to be on the same page while doing this. So after you kill the Void Warden, then turn your attention to the Dark Blade and kill him within 30 seconds. After killing the Void Warden, you will have the final step done for your Dark Drinker. Return to the tower and collect your exotic sword, the Dark Drinker. Now, I also want to note that if one person helps you get your sword that is not on your friends list and you join them through matchmaking, heck, even if they are on your friends list, just be a nice person, don't be a dick. If one person helps you get your sword, make sure that you in turn help them get their sword. And just don't be a dick, be a nice person. If they helped you, help them. And on that note, I hope that this video helped you get your Dark Drinker. If it did, let me know down in the comments if you already have your Dark Drinker, because I'm hoping that this video will be up before the second week that this is available to do starts. And if you already have your Dark Drinker, that means that you already got everything done the first week that it was possible. And I know the grind that you went through, because I did all 3 swords in the first week that it was possible, and it was a bitch. I was really hoping to be the first one to have all 3, but Gathalion beat me by like 3 or 4 hours, and it's whatever. Can't be upset that I wasn't the world's first, but I am very proud that I was indeed one of the first small group of people that got all 3 exotic swords on the first week that it was available to get done. Actually, it was the first day that it was available to get done, because it was about 7 hours after you were available to get the final step is when we actually got everything done for all 3 swords. And it was really time consuming, but it was worth it. Just knowing that I was one of the first people to have all 3 exotic swords, you couldn't get the smile off. You could not get the smile off of my face, and it was just one of the best feelings ever. So once again, if this video helped you get your Dark Drinker, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear feedback from all of you. This has been DropHazard, saying to enjoy your life, have fun, most importantly, play video games, play Destiny, the Taken King is out. Go enjoy it, get yourself a Dark Drinker, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, there's always one that wants to defy your...
Where's he at? I got a super for his ass.
Oh, wow.
Did you miss that?
No! He teleported just as I slammed the ground. And he spawned back in the middle of it, so it didn't do shit. That was the biggest fail ever.
I believe I can fly.
Damn.
Oh, no, I've tried to land that and jumped right completely off the map.
The fact that it warped right in front of me, I was like, no!